Yo, what is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours of nonstop MLB DFS conversation starts right now, taking you straight up to first pitch, an 11-gamer. Crunch time coming in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. You got TJ Zwarych, Dave Potts, Kirkwood, Kirkdiese also holding it down for crunch time. It's myself and Bobby Gomes on a film Friday. Already the first clue is scrolling. We're just a couple minutes late, so our apologies. Get out the gate here at the first clue. Get yourself some RG Premium for free. Guard is the first clue for today's film Friday. Bobby, don't blow it. I know you know it. You're really sharp at this game, but just feel free to try to resist and just tell me in the private chat.
I think it's Baywatch, the new one with the Rock, and that guy who gets a lot of facial work. Yeah, Lifeguard.
Who's the guy that gets a lot of facial work in the new Baywatch? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Did anybody see the new? I say new Baywatch. The only Baywatch movie that I know that has been made outside of the TV stuff. But thankfully, the game is saved. It is not Baywatch. It is not Baywatch. The Rock and the guy who gets a lot of facial work. Let me know in chat who that is. What's up, chat?
Zac Efron, Dean. Zac Efron.
Oh, does he have a lot of? He a lot going? I know he got stronger. He got really he got really muscular for a period. I'm not sure if he still is, but I don't know about the facial restructuring. But I've been following that. Hit that like button in chat. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications. All those things. Much appreciated. We should know. You know at this point, right? You got Discord channel. That's where you enter today's Film Friday. RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. One guest per clue drop. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. All right. This is your first show of 2 tonight, Bobby. You should tell the people programming notes. You're on later tonight for the football. We have another game on a Friday night. And this is the game in Brazil, I believe. Is this tonight? Wait, when is the game actually being played? Because I guess it's tonight, right? Yeah, I was trying to think of the time difference.
It's tonight.
I didn't do any content for that game, to be clear. Say it again.
The actual start time tonight?
I don't know, because I was thinking about time zones, and I guess Brazil's not that far ahead of us. There might be an hour ahead of us, maybe, but I'm not certain. It might be East Coast time. Maybe it's a 9 o'clock local time. But Kansas City and the Chargers, that is the game, correct? I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
It is Kansas City and the Chargers, yep. I have to go in and fix some stuff in my expert survey because I was rebuilding. I didn't like anything I wrote up earlier. So, yeah.
8 o'clock on the East Coast, confirmed by producer Steve. 7:15. So basically right after crunch time tonight, 7:15. A few minutes, new stream will fire up. And yourself and Chop will be talking tonight's opener for Kansas City and the Chargers. Of course, you guys aren't aware. Sunday morning, myself and Bobby Gomes. I see Tim hanging out in chat. 9:30, the egregious hour of 9:30 in the morning. The start of 3.5 hours of nonstop NFL conversation, taking you all the way up to first. I was going to say first pitch, but first kick. Let's say first kick.
You love to complain about a good show time.
Well, I mean, I'm cranky in the morning, man. Just be ready for it.
Don't stay up all night playing video games, and you'd be fine.
I'm gonna be able. Yeah, well, you know what? Typically, my annual tradition, which I don't want it to be, is just making lineups and trying to figure out because, depending on what's out there, there's a lot of overlay lurking. I don't think there's a ton necessarily this year, but in seasons past, like Yahoo is something I used to concentrate on, and their first week's contests are not good. Kirkwood can tell you it's not great. It's very disappointing. They don't have $1 million contest first week. I think it's $100K and $20K to first, and it's which is we'll take $20K, but it's not as exciting as I like their old contest, and I don't know if they're coming back or not. Yep, there's Kirkwood in chat saying they are officially dead. Yeah, it's a bummer. I used to love playing over there, but we'll see. Typically, I'm not going to be playing video games. I'm going to be making lineups and digging into NFL stuff. And
don't lie. Don't lie.
What?
Don't lie.
You don't think the lineups don't just make themselves? I guess they can if you just push a button, but I kind of like to do my own thing. All right. Tonight, it's an 11-gamer. Although if you missed it, several pitchers, the expectation was that Hunter Brown was going to pitch for Houston today. He's no longer pitching. He's no longer starting. Right on cue, we got the Houston Astros official lineup as well. Yeah, Gordon is going to be taking the bump for Houston. And additionally, we lost Tyler Glasnow. So 2 of the better arms that we thought, at least early in the morning, they were going to be throwing baseballs tonight are not. However, now Shohei Ohtani is starting for Tyler Glasnow. I do want to say they're working on this right now. Currently, it's really tricky from a text perspective. I'm sure the tech guys here hate the Ohtani hitting and pitching, and how FanDuel and DK can't quite figure out what to do with him and how to make it work and split him off the two people. But he's a hitter. He's a hitter on this slate. He's not somebody you can roster as far as a pitcher. But I think our projection right now is a pitching projection for Ohtani. So just be aware of that. Unless that's changed. The last I saw, like he had like a 30-point projection on FanDuel, and that's not a median projection for a hitter, like 17 or so on DK. So just be aware of that, and presumably this will be taken care of. Just a heads up that it's pretty tricky to figure that out. But yeah, not available in the pitching pool. He's throwing baseballs tonight for the Dodgers. Of course, we have a game tonight in Coors, so a 6+ team total. Kyle Freeland against the Padres. You know, they are the most popular team on the slate. There are some other spots that are worth a look. I'm curious to get your assessment, your overview. How are you seeing tonight's 11-gamer?
I'm getting a lot of Padres in Colorado. I think they're a very strong offense. Also have a good bit of Angels, Texas Rangers, the Dodgers, the Red Sox. Those are like the main teams that I'm probably playing. And then pitching, like obviously you take Hunter Brown off the slate.
No Glass now.
No Glass now. Definitely thins out a little bit, but I tagged Pivetta earlier. Like Pivetta.
Interesting.
Don't mind Christopher Sanchez. Don't mind Logan Gilbert. Pitching was going to be relatively strong. I think the easy salary savers are probably Jose Soriano and Ian Seymour. That's mainly it from my perspective. Dean, what are you thinking about this slate? I know your mind's probably on football or somewhere else, but
well, no, my mind went to we have not had a Seymour in baseball. It feels like in a long time, and now we have like a plethora. We're being invaded by. There's 2 Seymours that are expected to play for the Rays today. I don't think they're related. The Rays are notorious for having players that are same last name, but not necessarily related. Ian Seymour is the presumed long man coming in after Griffin Jacks. We know how vulnerable Cleveland is versus lefties. I do think he's pretty interesting. Bob Seymour, of course, sitting in the 9 hole, if you're not aware, for the Rays. If you want to do the Seymour stack, Kirkwood talking about it there in chat. But Bobby, it feels like you are shrinking in this seat. By the way, by the time this show is over, you might officially be off camera.
I don't know what it is. I think someone messed up my seat.
Well, you can't blame me. I'm over here. I know normally I'm the easy scapegoat, but maybe one of your kids possibly. I don't want to point fingers.
I don't know. Maybe they hit the desk up. I don't know. I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, the other thing is that there's a.
I like my vantage point. I like my vantage point.
There's a Carson Seymour playing baseball for the Giants too. Like, where did all these Seymours come from? Well, out of nowhere. All right, not since like Little Shop of Horrors, I think, have we been invaded by the Seymour. But okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to do the Seymour double stack, by all means, have a good time. That's not necessarily a route I'm going to go. I had if you read their expert survey today, I did a takedown of Fernando Tatis. I did a whole blurb about how I'm not playing Tatis tonight. That is the plan. San Diego, you said you're going to want a lot of Padres, and of course, I get it. Makes sense. They're taking on Kyle Freeland, locked in for 9, bad bullpen. Coors Field, biggest total. But I'll just get it out now as far as Tatis. So, he's got a 107 ISO and 5 home runs and 284 at-bats against lefties dating back to last season. And now, Bobby, some people are like, what's a 107 ISO? Is that good or is that bad? Well, it's a power. It's it measures your power essentially.
Abysmal. It's abysmal.
It's worse than Jose Iglesias and JP Crawford, just for reference. It's worse.
So can I give you push? I don't want to get you. I know it's still Kyle Freeland, right?
Yes. Here's a counterpoint. Yeah. I hear you. Go ahead.
There's guys in that lineup that I think can make pretty good contact in the spot. I like Laureano. He's batting a little down in the order, or would be. I like Machado a good bit. Machado would probably be my favorite from that team. O'Hearn, I think, is fine. Like there are guys there.
Do I think O'Hearn starts? I don't think O'Hearn starts.
Has he not? Have they given out the? Yeah, if he hasn't.
Left on left, they're not going to. I mean, I don't think they're going to start him versus Freeland, which leads to like some pinch hit stuff. We're expecting McCoy Fermin to draw the start. Well, Fermin the catcher, but we'll see that starting lineup. They're probably going to start Merrill left on left, but we'll see. We're not anticipating O'Hearn to start for what it's worth, but the lineup is not yet dropped. Just to finish my point, by the way, as far as Tatis, so June 24th, and he's not been injured. How many home runs does he have since June 24th? And this is against lefties and righties and everybody. How many home runs?
Probably low, Dean. It's a leading question. It's a leading question. Yeah. You're into the leading.
Low.
So yes, since June 24th, 9 home runs, 8 home runs.
So about a week ago, Kyle Schwarber hit 4 home runs in a game, and that is exactly how many homers Tatis has since June 24th.
Oh, he'll get one tonight, Dean. He's due. That just means he's due.
I mean, look, I'm not here to tell you Tatis is not a good baseball player. I just think he's overpriced. He's overrated. And of course he can thrive in this ballpark, and he can hit stuff in the gap and get some triples and that kind of thing because he can move, he can scoot. I just if Tatis beats me, so be it. But that's like my big fade. If that's like a big fade, and I'm just not going to be playing Tatis on my main lineup. Maybe a different lineup. My main lineup, he's not going to be on there, and we'll see how ownership shakes out. But I just much prefer if I'm going to spend up on one outfielder, it's Ohtani. I'll take Ohtani. Wind is blowing out. Last I saw in Baltimore, taking on Dean Kramer, leading off. I guess I prefer he's not pitching. I don't know if that matters or not, but I don't know if this is something they knew about days ago when he's been preparing for this start, or if it's just kind of sprung on him. I assume he's good to go. But yeah, Ohtani, again, if you missed it, he is pitching. He's not available to roster as a pitcher. We have 2 absolute studs, Logan Gilbert and Chris Sale taking on each other in Atlanta, 7.5 total. I like both those guys. I think I'm going to I shouldn't say. I'm very likely to stop at Christopher Sanchez as my first pitcher. Just the environment against the Marlins is so much better. The Marlins were kind of pesky, and they had a nice moment there when Stowers was healthy. No more Stowers. This lineup is looking worse. He probably wouldn't look great anyway today, left on left. But so I did a little, as far as Sanchez versus the Marlins. There's only one pitcher in baseball, qualified pitcher, one pitcher, that gives up less homers per 9 than Christopher Sanchez. That is Paul Skeens. I think because he's just ground ball savant, incredible as far as getting ground balls. You're getting those ground balls, you can't hit ground balls out of the stadium. That's just how that works, and it's really hard to get inside the park homer too. So 0.53 homers per 9 on the season, and you compound that with the Marlins being one of the worst power hitting teams in baseball. They're 28th in ISO versus lefties. They're in one of the worst ballparks in baseball to hit home runs. Unless the BABIP gods are really vengeful, they're really angry at Christopher Sanchez, this is a great setup for just, I don't like to talk about the floor, but the floor is really, really good. And certainly he's got some ceiling as well. Not an elite number, but 26.2% as far as the case. That's good as well. Marlins, not just punchless, but 27%. They're 27th in the league as far as WOBA versus lefties, 28th OPS, 28th WRC plus. Philly is a pretty heavy favorite as well. We'll take those win points. Talk about Gilbert facing Sale. They both can't win. They both can't win that game. I don't know if he has the, top upside of those two, but I really, really like Sanchez. He's my favorite pitcher on the board. Is he one of your favorites? How do you see at the top with Gilbert, Sale, and Sanchez?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Pivetta at the top versus the Rockies in Colorado. Fine with it. Ooh. Want to target Colorado bats versus right-handed pitching. Just all around, probably from an ownership perspective, you're going to get Pivetta less than I would imagine Sale, Gilbert. Sanchez is my second favorite for all the reasons that you kind of elaborated on. Logan Gilbert would be ahead of Sale for me. Like Seattle in that game. I know it's contrarian. Sale's been lights out. Atlanta just slumping, right? Look at Ozuna's salary. He's all the way down to $3K on DK. He's pretty cheap, I would imagine. I don't know if that's his exact price, but yeah, I don't know. For me, it's more Pavetta, Sanchez, and Gilbert. I think you're the other way around. Where is Ozuna's price? I just want to make sure that's 3.5.
I kind of have Pavetta. I have Pavetta like outside of those three. I guess it's the Coors effect, obviously. I get it. This Rockies team is not necessarily one we're afraid of. But I think I have Gilbert and Sale ahead. I see Eric in chat, by the way, saying, how can you trust Sale coming off injury? Well, he's not. He pitched, 5-6 days ago. He pitched now 78 pitches. So maybe they give him like 92. He's not going to get 100 almost definitely. But, yeah, Chris Sale has pitched since coming back from his injury. And he pitched really well. He was awesome. 9 strikeouts versus Philly. He shut him down. Just gave up a one solo job. So, yeah, I like Sale, like Gilbert. And as far as the K stuff, Gilbert, 34.2% Ks in the season, which is phenomenal. And then we have Chris Sale at 31.5%. So those numbers are really, really elite. The rookie for Boston totally looked really good his first time out. Not the best matchup here against Arizona from a strikeout perspective, but he was really impressive his first start. I'm not going to, think much of the 38% K rate, but again, 16.7% swinging strike rate that first start. It was impressive, and there was some pedigree there. They did bump him up in price, and I don't really love the matchup, but I was just kind of thinking about, strikeout pitchers. Pavetta in the season, 26.8% as far as Ks. That's really solid. He is a fly ball guy, which I don't love in Coors. Ideally, that ballpark in San Diego is a little more pitcher friendly. So less likely for the ball to go out, but it's just a bet
on these Rockies. They're not too high, I would imagine.
Say it again.
Very, very low ISOs for the Rockies outside of Mickey Moniak.
Yeah, isn't it weird that Mickey Moniak is like one of the best hitters? I think once upon a time, like 5 years ago, he was a pretty big prospect. I want to say was it Philly? Maybe he's a late bloomer, like Trent Grisham, who, by the way, that dude is getting paid. Somebody's going to pay him a bunch of money in the offseason, and that was not something that was.
Is it Yankee Stadium though, in that right field porch, and you're removing Grisham from basically Petco or whatever it's called in San Diego now, and that's why we're seeing.
No, I don't. I thought it was going to fade away, and it just hasn't faded away. So he's stuck it to me as well.
It does seem like I see the home run notification every night. He's
been great, and I'm really curious to see what kind of deal he gets in the offseason, because he didn't seem like a guy that would get a 3 or 4 year contract, but he just might, right? And he's been a kind of a savior for that team. By the way, speaking of the Yankees, first game in a while that Judge is in the field. Judge is playing the field tonight. I guess he can, and that obviously allows them to get Stanton in there. Phillies took Moniak first overall in 2016. Thank you, Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, I knew that my brain was working on that. And yeah, he was an uber prospect and just did not quite get there. Profar, another guy that had a career year at age 30. It just sort of happens sometimes. All right. By the way, we should drop that second clue for Film Friday. I don't think we have a winner just yet. Nobody binked it, as far as I can tell. Let's see. It is not He Got Game or Space Jam or The Green Mile. It's definitely not Paul Blart Mall Cop. Just I liked reading that. Or Man on Fire, spectacular Denzel movie. All right, so the second clue, Bobby, and again, it's not Baywatch either. The second clue is Survive. So guard and survive. That is your first two clues. Film Friday. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. I should also note, we have a deal going on with football season in full effect. You get yourself, Combo Pro is $79 and change for the first month, which is only $5 more than football a la carte. If you just want NFL, it'd be kind of weird if you're watching the baseball show and that's all you want. But it's just $5 more for NFL exclusive monthly as far as the sub. You see there on your screen. The first month is just $5 more, $79 and change. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, PGA, WNBA, MMA, all the sports, all the bells, all the whistles, everything with NASCAR. NASCAR is its own kind of thing. You get the SimLabs, you get the the expert rankings, Dave Potts' article, all the football content. I've not had a chance to dive into it, but I see a ton of stuff posted. There's a lot. Did you participate in the expert survey? You said you're on the Showdown expert survey.
I'm on the Showdown survey. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you would get content to that as well. But there's a ton of stuff posted for NFL this weekend, and have not had a chance to dive in. Saturday I will do my grind and see where everybody's at. Oh, and just one more shout out to the Pick Six show. Check that out. On the page, myself, Rich Rebar, John Daigle, TJ produces that also. That was. I
can only imagine what games you guys went over this week.
We focused on 3 main games and kind of circle back and talk about the slate as a whole, the players we have not yet discussed. Indianapolis, Miami was one of the 3. Seattle, San Fran was one of the 3. And because there's no monster team total, 47.5, I believe, was the biggest total on the board this week. There's like 4 different games. Oh, Tampa and Atlanta, I think, was the other one. No, that wasn't it. It was, Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Of course, it was Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Yeah, Cincinnati, Cleveland. It's kind of a bummer that we don't have, I guess we can just kind of watch it and enjoy it or play the Showdown stuff, but Buffalo and Baltimore should be a lot of fun Sunday night. And I think tonight's game should be good too, Kansas City and the Chargers. All right, second clue is scrolling. We'll see if we have a winner. Not just yet. It's not Saving Private Ryan or Death Race or Hunger Games or The Running Man or Men in Black. Lots of guesses coming in here in the Discord channel. You mentioned Soriano. Is he your favorite cheapie? Is Seymour your favorite cheapie? Who's your favorite cheap, like SP2 type?
Yeah, I think it would be Soriano. Probably between Soriano and Seymour for me. Just, I don't know, maybe even Erod versus the Red Sox when you're taking out Roman Anthony. Mayer's been out for a while. A little revenge. Do you like revenge, Dean? I think I could throw Erod in there as well. So those 3 would probably be the main ones. Soriano keeps the ball down. I'm fine with that. He's been pretty good all year. So for me, he'd probably be my favorite. And then between Erod and Seymour, I probably lean Seymour. Do you have a take on that?
I don't want to play Erod at all. So
you're crazy. You're crazy. Tonight's
Erod.
Erod.
Really? Is he really angry at Boston? This can't be his first crack at Boston either. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think he's very good. Is kind of the problem. I don't think he's great at throwing baseballs. You mentioned the Anthony thing. I mean, that would be left on left, and Anthony's not been as good left on left. But Boston can still hit the ball against. There's some guys in this lineup. I'm more thinking about like the Boston players as far as hitting, like who's going to get flipped out of that lineup when Erod, comes in, like a Romy Gonzalez type, depending on who cracks that lineup. Like, is Eaton leading off, or we're projecting that? I'm not sure. Is that Boston's official lineup, or he probably gets the boot? Yeah, that's a 9:40 game. There's no lineup just yet. But I like Bregman and Story line up pretty good to me. I just don't think Erod's like it's kind of over for him. But
all right, so Soriano and Seymour. What about Merrill Kelly? Any Merrill Kelly love?
Love? No.
First optimal on our Sims, Merrill Kelly versus Houston.
He's a professional pitcher, right? He's much better versus righties. This Houston lineup has gotten a little more left-handed of late. Jordan's back, obviously. Jordan's been spectacular so far this season. Since bouncing back, I know he's been pretty good since coming back from his injury. They have Jesus Sanchez now from the left side, Caratini, Trammell, some power, a lot of strikeouts. But Merrill Kelly has 25.7% Ks against righties, a 96 ISO, 239 WOBA. He's very good against them. So I think he's in the mix.
Yeah, you're getting enough of them too. He's definitely in the mix. I think he'd fall behind Seymour and Soriano for me. You bumped down Erod, so yeah, you poo-pooed my Erod take.
I do agree with your Angels. Your take as far as Soriano. I love the ground balls. It's a legit skill. There are some strikeouts in this athletic lineup. I know there's a lot of power there as well. It's a pretty big. Well, it's a negative ballpark chip. Not sure exactly how to measure that. But and Kurtz is scary, but he'll strike out a lot. Rooker will strike out a fair bit. Geloff has struck out a ton so far in a small sample. Butler has been kind of lost for a while now. 25.8% as far as the Ks. But Day will strike out a fair bit. Again, there is some power, but There's also some individual batters. We'll rack up some strikeouts. I wish there was a couple more righties because, the K's versus righties at 24.3%, much more respectable than the 18.6 versus lefties, but it's also kind of baked into the price. I think he's the best amongst the cheap tier, depending on where your cutoff is. Is anybody being thrown out? Derek's asking about McGreevy. He's got a 14% K rate. That's it. I can't.
McGreevy.
Yeah. I mean,
the reason I just that.
He's Miles Michaelis. He's a young Miles Michaelis. 14% K rate, 4% walk rate. He's not going to strike you out. He's not going to walk you, and he's at the mercy of the BABIP gods, and that's what it is.
I will say Mason Barnett versus the Angels, they can strike out at a high clip. So from a value perspective, I think he's somewhat in play. If you want to add another.
Yeah, he hasn't quite shown it. In the minor leagues, he hasn't quite shown it. So it's one of the reasons why I like the Angels.
I like the Angels stats too. I'm just saying, I think
for
their salary saving pitcher, I think Barnett's in the pool.
But if you're playing, are we playing a lot of lineups tonight, Bobby, or just one? What are we doing?
Just one, but I built 150 for the show, so I can just talk about it from that perspective.
If you want to be over on Barnett and over on the Angels, I think that's a good call. And I don't even know what over on Barnett is.
You're a big hedger, Dean. You're a big hedger. You're a big hedger.
Well, it's not. You call it. I believe in variance. I believe variance is a thing, and I believe certain players and matchups the variance is more extreme.
Like Erod, for example. Erod, extremely volatile. This could be a great spot for Erod. I'm just saying. I know you.
Okay. But what lineup just came out? I see it on our screen here. Adalis Garcia, by the way, hitting the IL. Seager, obviously still out. How many good bats are left for Texas? Is it worth considering Colton Gordon? Because this Texas lineup, Michael Hellman, Cody Freeman, Wyatt Langford, Jake Berger, Higashioka. Whoa! If this is dog water.
Yeah, it's dog water. I think we skipped the Colton Gordon thing because it was kind of new news prior to the slate.
Yeah.
Might be able to throw him in as another value arm versus Texas lineup. Like you said, not fantastic. Higashioka, who's in there? Oof.
Well, Higashioka's batting fifth. It's not that he's in there. He's batting fifth. Josh Young, Ezekiel Duran, Dylan Moore, Josh Smith. They bumped them down to the 9-hole left on left. And there's also there's probably pinch hit stuff lurking with Rowdy and Peterson if you're thinking about playing yourself some Rangers. But it's just a bad Texas lineup. It's not a good. Not that Colton Gordon's necessarily good, but I think there's a chance he survives this. On the season, Gordon, 20% Ks. He's a strike thrower, only 4% walks. He's got a lean as far as to fly balls. The ERA's been rough, but he's been a little bit unlucky. 3.43 BABIP, right? The ERA is 5.64, but the Sierra is 4.12, which isn't amazing, but obviously better. 17.5% homer to fly ball, a little unlucky there as well. I don't think it's the worst idea to play some Colton Gordon, but not something I think
Colton Gordon's better than what we just originally skipped over him.
Yeah.
I think you could put him ahead of Seymour, Barnett. I think he's right below Soriano for me. Just looking in this Texas lineup.
James is asking for the Dinger board. Isn't that something the RG Twitter account puts out there or something like that? I see Steve is asking the what? I'm pretty sure what that reference is. If it's the MLB Twitter handle or the RG Twitter handle that puts out the Dinger board. Let's see. Cam wants to know thoughts on the Giants since McGreevy is such. Well, we'll talk about the Giants soon enough. They're not my favorite offense. They're playable just because I don't think McGreevy is especially good. But it's all right. Bob, you got anything else here that we want to focus on as far as pitchers? We have to throw some teams into some tiers. Let me check some ownership stuff. The people are always curious. And I'll show some love to FanDuel as well. Let's give a refresh. Let's see where we're at ownership-wise. On FanDuel, 20% Chris Sale, who's just a tick more than Sanchez. That's about 20%. So what happens is when the lineups come in, Bobby, a little behind the scenes, or I guess you kind of figured it out if you have our lineup HQ. New lineups come in, the ownership stuff goes away, so you got to hit refresh again. So I'm stalling for time as I hit refresh. Sale 20%. This is on FanDuel. Sanchez at 18. Nobody else in double digits. You do have Pavetta at 9%, which is kind of surprising to me. Merrill Kelly at 7. Gavin Williams at 6%, which I see people like Seymour and like, I'll tell you, the one thing I don't like about him on FanDuel is he can't get the quality start. He's not starting. No chance he gets the quality start. Just not possible. But, I guess it's kind of built into his price if you want to make that argument. All right. And FanDuel-wise, DK-wise, let's go ahead and take a peek as far as the ownership stuff, pitching-wise. And again, Ohtani, not available in the pool. You got to throw him out. We are seeing Christopher Sanchez as the most popular pitcher at 32%. That's not surprising. A bit of a difference there. You're saving $800 against Chris Sale. Chris Sale, 27%. I'm really surprised at Pavetta being 25%. Maybe that's just a bad read by me. I think he's fine, but I wouldn't put him on the podium. And then there's Seymour. This is on TK at 16%. Soriano, we talked about, who's even cheaper than Seymour at 16%. Gilbert, 13%. There's no chance I play Gavin Williams at 12, Kelly at 9, everybody else in single digits. All right. Anything else we should note here when it comes to pitchers?
No, I think we covered it, Dean.
All right. Do you want another clue for Film Friday?
I would appreciate another clue from you, Dean. Yes.
I can see it on your face. I know the chat is clamoring. Let's go ahead and give you a third clue for Film Friday. Guard and survive are the first two, and Orlando is the third clue. Orlando is the third clue. Let me know in the Discord what film I'm talking about. We are going to be talking about some tiers here in just a second, Bobby. But before we do that, we got to tell people. Say it again.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Why? Why Beverly Hills Cop?
Just doesn't it end in Disneyland, not Disney World in California? Your guard and surviving. Orlando's where Disney World is. I don't know. You do those double entendre weird stuff. It's reaching.
I haven't seen Beverly Hills Cop in so long. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
It's good. I watched it
it holds up. And did they make a new one? Was there a new one that was released like a year or two ago? I feel like it happened. Am I making this up? Not. No, I think it happened. I think we got a new one.
Good thing.
But yeah, people are guessing there.
What do you think about the new Batman? They're making a new Batman. They just have the other Batman coming out. I'm just so confused.
Well, yeah, that's with Robert Pattinson. They kind of rebooted the franchise. That makes sense.
No, there's another one. There's another one. There's a DC Universe Batman.
I'm not sure. Maybe if TJ can clarify.
TJ would know.
Chat.
Yeah, TJ would know. Yeah.
There's another one with Robert Pattinson that I know it was.
I thought that was a film. That's the one I like the new one. I like that one.
It was good. Yeah.
It's like an emo Batman, Dean. He's like an emo Batman.
Robert Pattinson's like a good actor. He's I know he was. I think he was first introduced, at least to me. Not that I saw it, but he was in those Twilight movies. I didn't watch the Twilight movies, but kind of like a teen heartthrob type. But I think he's a legit good actor. All right. It's funny we say Batman actually because today's tiers, Bobby, Michael Keaton. Remember Michael Keaton? It's his birthday.
Played Batman. Yep.
Yeah. You know how old he is? How old would you guess? Oh, show a picture of Michael Keaton in case the people don't know who he is. I think most people do, but 70. Some people. 74. He's 74 years old, Michael Keaton. The board has already been revealed. Producer Steve's on top of it. But I was asking you, what would you think the best Michael Keaton movie is?
He's
Keaton, for those that are not aware.
Aged, huh? I'd say Batman. He was a great Batman until Bale and Pattinson, right?
Yeah. I think he's one of the better Batmans. I thought he was pretty spectacular. He was in the, I wouldn't say the original, I guess 88, 89 or something like that with Jack Nicholson. That was probably one of the better ones he was in. Also, there's a Batman Returns, did not make the board. But so I wanted to shout out Michael Keaton, and I power ranked Michael Keaton movies. So he is in the number one spot. Not exactly a Michael Keaton movie, but I know people love the other guys. The other guy's a lot of fun. He's like the police chief in this, or I think he's the police chief. He oversees, what's going on in, with Will Ferrell and Samuel Jackson and all those guys. So that's in the 2-hole. The third best, the 3-hole. There's a lot of good movies that he's been in. Spotlight, Jackie Brown, Out of Sight, Spider-Man: Homecoming. The third one, though, The Founder. Have you ever seen The Founder? You should. It's good. It's about the guy who founded McDonald's, Ray Kroc. You ever see this? It's pretty good.
I didn't. No, I watched the documentary on McMillions, though.
Well, that was not a documentary on McDonald's. That was a documentary on how they rigged the Monopoly game.
That's what I watched the documentary on. Dean.
Yeah, I watched that too. That was pretty interesting. Yeah,
it's interesting that you were like upset that I not upset, but you're just saying, oh, that was a documentary on McDonald's, but all your clues are double entendres around.
We're not playing a game. We're just having a conversation.
I'm just saying, whatever.
And then maybe it's kind of a hot take. Maybe it's a hot take. I know a lot of people like Beetlejuice. I didn't really like Beetlejuice. I didn't really do it for me. And I haven't seen the sequel.
Beetlejuice guy either. I'm with you.
Yeah. You can only say it so many times also. Something might happen if you keep saying it throughout the show. And I just thought it'd be funny. I haven't seen the second one that just came out. I just thought it'd be funny to have tier 4 Beetlejuice and, of course, tier 5 Beetlejuice. Just to confuse producer Steve, see if he's paying attention when we're running down what team goes into what tier. But anybody I missed in the chat throwing out some the chat likes Beetlejuice. I didn't like it. I mean, it's whatever. But at this point, I just thought the Beetlejuice throw it in the 5-hole just for funsies. No Multiplicity. Yeah, Multiplicity did not crack the list. My apologies, KC. Good concept. I feel like it wasn't fully executed, but original idea at the time. All right. Are you ready to throw some teams into some tiers?
I guess, Dean.
I mean, I can hear the enthusiasm. It is it is palpable for sure. All right. First,
it's football season, Dean. We're talking baseball. How enthused do you want me to be?
Do you like producer Steve just randomly hitting buttons? Are you enjoying this?
Yeah.
Are you hearing this? Are you hearing the buttons he's pushing? You didn't react to any of them, I don't think.
I heard them, yeah. Non-reactive.
All right. Well, you're a professional. I get thrown off. So it's Toronto. Toronto is taking on the Yankees. We didn't talk about Cam Schlittler. We didn't mention him. He's been really good. Taking on Toronto. Kevin Gausman on the other side. Yankees 4.5 total. I was a little bit surprised to see Jazz in there. Jazz left yesterday's game with they said multiple contusions, like each leg, each knee, I think it was, had a contusion. And he left the game, but he's back in there. So Jazz is back after getting the quick hook yesterday. We talked about Grisham yesterday. We're just starting the show, how spectacular he's been. We know Ben Rice absolutely shellacks right-handed pitching as well. This Yankee lineup is loaded, even all the way down to McMahon. McMahon can bang one out versus Gausman as well. In a small sample, we've seen Schlittler be reverse splitsy. So I guess you're more enthused about the righties for Toronto if you're playing some Blue Jays. You tell me, though. How do you feel about Toronto and the Yankees?
Yeah, for me, they're both going in the other guys. Yankees really look great. Judge, Stanton, Jazz, Bellinger. Just going over, like, Trent Grisham. Like, we can go back to the well on Grisham, I would imagine. Stanton now being able to play just DHing and Judge in the outfield, I think is beneficial. Ryan McMahon's another one I like. And on the Blue Jays, George Springer stands out. Vlad stands out. Dalton Varsho might actually be my favorite. I know he's a lefty. And Schlittler is reverse splitsy, but I still like Varsho a good bit. And that's mainly both of these teams, Dean, and they're both going in the other guys.
By the way, both going in tier 2. I'm just a little thrown off. I'm surprised to see Ryan O'Hearn is starting today against Kyle Freeland, and no Luis Arraez. Just kind of a different iteration of San Diego. We were anticipating McCoy and Fermin. There's also no McCoy. There's no Fermin. That is a little peculiar. I thought Arraez was going to start. He's healthy, right? As far as I know. Just not playing baseball today for whatever reason. It's the Tatis O'Hearn
day off, Dean. It's been a long season. You can only hit so many singles.
Yeah, but like this is the one ballpark where he can actually maybe possibly get a double.
Yeah, so Ryan O'Hearn may possibly hit a home run with the guy that gives up a ton of barrels.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a bullpen too. It's not very good, and it's pretty heavily right-handed. So yeah, Gavin Sheets is starting too. Interesting. I think Sheets is he kind of cheap? Let's see. 3-2 on FanDuel's a pretty good price for Sheets. What is he on DK? 4-6. That's a little steeper. 4-9 for O'Hearn. Tatis, O'Hearn, Machado, Sheets, Laureano, Merrill, Iglesias, Cronenworth, and Diaz. How many lefties are they starting? O'Hearn, Sheets, Merrill, and Cronenworth. Okay. Yeah, a little bit different than we anticipated, but that is your Padres tonight. Let's give the people a fourth clue because I don't think we have a winner just yet for Film Friday. It is not Cool Hand Luke or Interstellar. We talked about Interstellar on the Pick Six show as well. You a fan of Interstellar, Bobby?
Yeah, I thought it was a great movie.
McConaughey? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Is the girl in it? The redhead?
Well, Anne Hathaway's in it? You're thinking of Jessica,
what's her name?
What's it? Chastain. I think Chastain's in it?
No, but her name in the movie, it's like important, I guess.
I don't remember her name in the movie.
I don't know.
A young Timothy Chalamet. It's basically his first role.
Yeah, there was a young Timothy Chalamet. Now he dates Kardashians. Who would have knew?
There you go. Good for him. It's not Magic Mike.
Guy, Dean. I'm not big.
You are. You aren't.
I like blondes.
Okay.
I'm not.
I mean, as a general rule, there's not for you for whatever reason.
They all look the same.
Yeah. I mean, I just try to. I mean, I don't really. They're not really in my. I'll see them they'll pop up on the internet, but I'm not seeking them out. Like you just can't avoid them, right? It's just. But I don't put much thought into the Kardashians, but good for them. They've had a good run. They've had a good run. We do have a winner, by the way, because the fourth clue is scrolling. It was not verbalized. This is the perks of watching the screen. Scab was the fourth word, the fourth clue. Guard, Survive, Orlando, and Scab. Shout out to Behand4987. You get a week free of RG Premium or Scores and Odds, Dealer's Choice. Producer Steve will hook you up. Several people, 3 people, were guessing the same guess. We'll clarify the winner soon enough, but we got to get going and talk about some more games. The second game of the docket, we talked about Yankees and Toronto. You threw them both in the other guys. Tier 2. All right. Dodgers and Baltimore. We have Ohtani now throwing baseballs against Dean Kramer. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Teoscar, Conforto, Pajes, Kim. Rushing is doing the catching. Will Smith. I don't think he's available to pinch hit. I'm not certain about that, but I think he's a little bit banged up. I don't think he went on the IL, but I don't think he's available. Which is, I like that a little bit for rushing. A little more stability. And then there's Rojas and the 9-hole. Dodgers do have a team total just above 5. Wind is blowing out towards left field. Dodgers, Orioles. What do you got?
Yeah, Dodgers look pretty good here against Kramer. He's usually a pretty good real life pitcher, but I think he's gotten tagged recently. I like the Dodgers. They're cheap too, right? So it's even more of a reason to like them. I'm gonna put the Dodgers and the other guys. Favorite Dodgers, just going into it quickly. Shohei, Conforto, Freddie Freeman, Dalton Rushing gives you some savings down there in the 8-hole. And the Orioles are going to go in Beetlejuice. I know Glasnow's great. His prices come down. He hasn't been as spectacular recently.
Well, he's not playing. It's Ohtani.
It's Ohtani, yeah, sorry. Sorry, yeah.
No worries.
I got a little. It was a little tricksy before the slate, right, Dean? With the whole.
You got to hit a refresh on your.
Holiday, Jeremiah Jackson, Gunnar Henderson, Dylan Beavers. These guys aren't guys you want to roster. They might be the best hitters on the Orioles tonight, but yeah, Beetlejuice. Put them in Beetlejuice.
Just Beetlejuice to be clear. Just Beetlejuice. Okay. But shout out to TJ. TJ DM'd me, and I think he was in before everybody else as far as today's Film Friday. So he was on top of it as well. I guess that clue was kind of a dead giveaway at tier 4. I probably should have been at the 5th clue, but that's on me. I built a little bit easier game. Anyways, let's scoot along. Let's talk about the next game. It's Philadelphia and Miami. Miami barely has a 3 total against Christopher Sanchez. We talked about Sanchez when we were focusing on pitchers. The Phillies almost a 5 total. Certainly, it's a significant downgrade for the Phillies, but they have some boppers certainly up top with Schwarber and Harper. Turner always feels a little bit overpriced, but you throw him in the stack. At least I would throw him in the stack against Alonso. You're in for 9. No matter what the kind of shenanigans are happening in this game, they're going to get their innings, their bats in the 9th inning. Where do you want to put the Phillies and the Fish?
Phillies are going in Batman, led by Kyle Schwarber versus Valente Beloso. Yes. Just Schwarber has great ISO. Good WOBA.
Steve is making a joke, by the way. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Steve made me laughing in the chat.
Schwarber and Harper are main ones. Back end of the order I don't love, but Kepler's there. Like Phillies are definitely going to be in Batman just because of the power upside, and they're getting all their at bats versus Valente Beloso, and then against the Marlins bullpen, which I'm fine with. The Marlins, where are we going to put the Marlins, Dean? Marlins I have zero interest in. They're probably going in Beetlejuice. Not playing any Marlins. Christopher Sanchez, like you talked about at the top of the show, not giving up many home runs. Been great all year. Yeah,
0.53 homers per 9, the second lowest number in all of baseball amongst starting pitchers who qualify. The best, just for funsies, is Paul Skeens. Let's see. It says, isn't Bobozo the umpire from Naked Gun? No, the umpire of Naked Gun, that's Enrico Palazzo. And not only was the umpire, he also sang the national anthem. He was really versatile, highly skilled, Enrico Palazzo. Okay, Seattle and Atlanta, 2 top-notch pitchers, 2 of the best pitchers in baseball. Chris Sale, Logan Gilbert, 7.5 total in Atlanta. I don't think I'm playing the offenses here. You can always play big dumper Kyle Raleigh. Things can go straight. You just never really know. It's a big ballpark jump for the Mariners in Atlanta. Just Sale is so dominant. They are rolling out 7 righties. Canzone and Raleigh, Luke Raley are in the lineup there for the Mariners. But I don't make enough lineups to consider either one of these teams offensively. How about yourself, Mariners, Braves?
Yeah, I'm going to put the Mariners in the Founder and the Braves in Beetlejuice. I like Cal Raleigh. I like Julio Rodriguez. They're guys that I think are fine to get to. Luke Raley down there at the bottom. Wouldn't be like full stack in this team, but I guess 2-mans I don't care. I don't hate, especially if you're trying to get some leverage off Sale. No real interest in the Braves. Yerkes and Profar, Matt Olson maybe as one-offs, or just making my pool, but I don't know if I'm actually going to get to them. And then Marcell Ozuna, I guess, would be the other one who can't seem to get his price tag up on DK and is currently down at 3.5. So, yeah.
In chat, Alexander is asking about Sanchez and who in DK cash. I mean, if you have the salary, I think it's Sanchez and Sale, possibly Gilbert. But if you don't, and it's an interesting decision point because it gets you an extra bat or 2, I think Soriano is the one you can go to. But I am officially not playing cash today. But if I was, I would try to get Sanchez for sure, and try and double barrel it with either Sale or Gilbert. But I don't know if I would be able to realistically do that. And then if I can't, it will be Soriano. I guess you could consider Pivetta, but I probably wouldn't do that. But it's Sanchez and one of those 4 or 5 guys. All right, let's scoot along. Next game up, Bobby. It's Cleveland and Tampa. All the Seymours. We have Bob Seymour playing baseball today for the Rays. Ian Seymour, the expected long man after Griffin Jacks starts the game off for Tampa. Gavin Williams on the other side. It's a 7.5 total, which seems pretty low for this ballpark, right? I know it's not the greatest. It's low 80s, right? It's not like an amazing environment, but it's still like pretty hittable ballpark. I just thought that was a little weird. 7.5 seems like a tick low, and I'm not sure. These offenses aren't spectacular, but there's certainly some boppers. J-Ram and Caminero, one of the better hitters in baseball. He's at 40 homers now. Shout out to him. Curious where you're putting the Guardians and the Rays, and I don't really know how you can get to the Guardians with Seymour waiting in the wings. Maybe a little mini with J-Ram, but you tell me. Cleveland, Tampa, what do you got?
I'm not really interested in Cleveland at all. I would have Cleveland and Beetlejuice. Tampa, don't really love that much either. I would put them in Beetlejuice. Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lowe, Caminero are probably my 3 favorite bats from this game. Like, obviously, J-Ram's playable, but I just don't love the Guardians today.
So I think Machado is like the big spend at third base, and the pivot off Machado is Caminero, and then maybe J-Ram is like the pivot off the pivot.
I would say so, yeah.
But I like the pivot of Caminero off of Machado at third specifically. And, second base is kind of a wasteland. Jazz is there. He's available. Ketel Marte, you got to pay for him. But I really like the idea of spending up for Brandon Lowe. Again, if salary allows. Otherwise, you can just like flat out punt it with some of these second basemen. Jordan Lawler, he's 2K on DK. I'm not saying he's necessarily good. I know he's supposed to be good one day. He hasn't quite flashed it just yet. But, if that's one way to help you get there, just flat out getting rid of second base at 2K. If they're all kind of bad or overpriced or however you want to phrase it, you want to get in and out as cheap as possible. He is hitting 7th. Do we not have an Athletics or Angels lineup? That's the 2 that I'm not seeing just yet. And no Twins. Pablo Lopez expected back today, by the way.
Dean, I have to open the door quickly. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
I got some kids at the door.
The 5th clue for Film Friday, we already got a winner, but we're playing it out for fun. Sure, why not? The 5th clue is actually hack. So guard, survive, Orlando, scab, and hack. That is the 5 clues. We did already have a winner. TJ won in our private little private conversation. 3 or 4 people also guessed it in the Discord channel. Just one had a faster finger than the rest. But some people are still playing along. So, and we'll give the breakdown in just a second. Do hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Appreciate all that. In about 15 minutes, give or take, we have it's not cheap, I'll just cover them off. It's the aforementioned TJ Zwarych. You guys know TJ, right? One of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. He's a multitasker. He also can host shows. He can produce shows. He'll be hosting Crunch Time in about 15 minutes or so. You got Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, leader of Juggalo Nation, as well as Dave Potts. Cheeseisgood. Did I buy enough time? I think I bought enough time. You were probably listening the entire time.
Yeah.
All right. Threw it all out to the people. Let's kind of move on to the next game. Again, about 15 minutes or so, Bobby, so plenty of time. I imagine we get enough likes. You got some Bobby bombs for the people. Is that correct?
We can try. Yeah, we can definitely try.
All right. You can muster something up?
Yeah, I can muster something up.
No Twins lineup just yet. They're taking on Michael Wacha, Pablo Lopez on the other side. Kansas City versus Minnesota. It's an 8 total. Royals are minus 137 favorites. How do we feel about it? It's going to be, looks like cold, pretty cool in Kansas City. I'm seeing 64. Let's see what Weather Edge says. I'll throw it to you first. Kansas City, Minnesota, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't love the Royals. Don't love the hitting weather. I think I would throw the Royals and Beetlejuice, mainly Bobby Witt. Pascantino, I think, is fine. Yastrzemski. I don't know. The hitting weather isn't great. Salvatore Presley. You can play these guys, but I just don't love the hitting weather. Don't love getting Pablo Lopez throwing baseballs to them. So, yeah, I don't love the Royals. Put them in Beetlejuice. Twinkies, I like Wallner. I like Cody Clemens, and then that's literally about it. I'm going to throw the Twinkies and Beetlejuice as well. I don't have a ton of interest in this game. Maybe you do. I don't.
I do not. I did pull up Weather Edge. Pretty big sample, 113 games. Pretty significant hit for homers. It's already a bad ballpark for homers as is, bottom 5, and I'm probably rounding up. 26% decrease in homers in 113 games. Similar weather. Also a 10% decrease in runs. 64 is the temp. We have a slight breeze out the right field at 5 miles per hour, but it just doesn't look like a spectacular environment. That's kind of the way I'm seeing it. Somebody in chat was asking me if I'm going to see the new football movie that's coming out in a week or so. I think that's the new Jordan Peele movie, if I'm not mistaken. Is that him? Is that what you're referencing? And yeah, I mean, I probably won't put on pants, but I'll definitely stream it if nothing else. I mean, like to go to the theater and such. But yeah, he always makes interesting movies. So he's definitely whatever he puts out.
You put on pants for the show?
Shorts. Is shorts okay? Is that acceptable? Not pants. It's Florida,
Not tighty whities.
Do we believe that?
I don't believe that.
I mean, do you want to find out? Because it can turn ugly if you it can turn ugly if I'm lying. You want to believe that. All right, let's skid along. Next game up is the Astros. The Astros and the Rangers. Merrill Kelly, Colton Gordon. It's an 8 total. Texas is a slight favorite. We talked about Hunter Brown. I guess they were never officially had him scheduled, but we were kind of projecting. This is the time of year where, teams don't officially tell you who's starting sometimes, so like a couple hours for the game. It is Colton Gordon. Dallas Garcia, not on Texas's lineup today. Of course, we still have Corey Seager is going to be out. So it's Hellman and Freeman. Both those guys, to me, feel pretty pinch it risky. I didn't check and see what the bat has to say. But, yeah, Gordon versus Kelly, Houston and Texas. What do you got?
Do you want to throw the Astros and the founder? I'm thinking about putting the Astros as founder. I like Yordan Alvarez. Christian Walker is fine. Did Christian Walker make the lineup? No, he did. Oh yeah, he's in the 6 hole.
Yeah.
Jesus Sanchez is fine. They're fine in the founder. Rangers are terrible. Let's put the Rangers in Beetlejuice. Let's also bump the Twins down to Beetlejuice. So we'll have 3 teams in Beetlejuice, and then we'll put the Rangers in Beetlejuice. Rangers don't look good. I guess you could play Langford, Kyle Higashioka.
He's one of your guys, right? Now I realize why you said
one of my guys.
That's one of your.
Yeah.
You like bad catchers. Higashioka is one of them. By the way, according to the bats, 7 guys on Texas have at least double-digit risk of getting pinch hit for. Now, a lot of the risk is really, really low. Like it's like 10, 12%. But yeah, Hellman 50%, Freeman 40%, Moore 45%, Duran 43%. It's basically screaming that we're going to get jock jams at some point. We're going to get Rowdy. Rowdy Tellez. Not a guarantee, and you never really know how these games go, but it certainly seems like a pretty strong probability. Just one team in Tier 1 right now. Just one team in Tier 1. It is the Phillies hanging out with Michael Keaton and Batman.
People are putting Travis d'Arnaud in chat, and I don't like to see that. It's won me a lot of money. Just saying.
Is d'Arnaud in the lineup today, or does that lineup come out? Or is it just talking about the Angels? I don't see any.
No, he's just my second favorite baseball player of all time, Dean, behind Danny Jansen.
Yes, they're not poo-pooing Danny Jansen.
No.
Okay, he's fine, I guess, but
okay,
all right. Next game up, it's San Fran and St. Louis, 8.5. Michael McGreevy. We pooed him earlier as far as his inability to strike people out. He does throw strikes. There's Carson Seymour, one of 3 Seymours expected to play baseball this evening for the Giants. Not a great ballpark.
Seymour Hoffman movies today for tears.
Oh, you know what, Bobby? That would have been the call. You're right. When you're right, you're right. And you're right. I got to yield. That would have been the call.
I know.
What is the greatest Philip Seymour Hoffman movie? It's Boogie Nights. That's the answer.
Is it Boogie Nights? Yeah,
I think so.
I have no idea.
I mean, it's an opinion.
Good actor. I don't remember all.
Oh, spectacular! Yeah, incredible actor. I didn't realize that. Next time we have 3 Seymours, we'll do Philip Seymour Hoffman movies. Lost him way too soon, obviously. Chat, let me know what's the greatest Philip Seymour Hoffman movie. Where do you want to put the Giants and the Cardinals?
Giants stink. You can put them in Beetlejuice. Cardinals, shoot. Cardinals also in Beetlejuice. Can we do something real quick? Just saying, we forgot to add Houston to the founder, so just add Houston to the founder there.
Okay.
Just Cardinals guys and basically Giants guys that we're interested in playing. I'm not really interested in playing anyone. from those teams, but Nolan Gorman and Lars Newbar stand out from the Cardinals. And from the Giants, Ramos, Adames, Devers, Casey Schmidt, I think are all interesting, but I wouldn't stack them, and they're not great plays.
Our guy Kirkwood is saying owning Mahoney, which I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's based on a true story. A guy out of a Canadian guy that was stealing money from his bank he was working at and just losing it all in the casino. I don't know if you ever saw that one. Not one of the more popular Philip Seymour Hoffman movies, but it's good. It's good. And isn't it shocking that Kirkwood, that's the first one he goes to? Oh, Along King Polly as well, too, when he made it rain. I don't know if you remember that. With his playing against the guy without a shirt on.
I'm going to Google Philip Seymour Hoffman movies.
Yeah, Sharding is another thing he made popular, I think, in that movie. The Master, of course, was spectacular. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. That is not a fun movie, but that is one of my favorites. That is
what about Mockingjay? I don't know. Which one is that?
I've never seen it. Yeah, I've never seen it. That's in that world with the arrows. Yeah, never saw it.
Yeah, not great.
The arrows. Is it not good? Woody Harrelson?
I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
Is he in Moneyball?
Yes, he's the manager. Yeah, he's the manager in Moneyball.
Yeah, he's Art Howe.
Art Howe. Yeah, which is a weird casting.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a great curmudgeon, though. You kind of forget he's in Moneyball. All right, Giants and Cardinals are both hanging out with Beetlejuice. Let's talk about San Francisco, Colorado. It's Kyle Freeland against Nick Pivetta. We do have a team total above 6 for the Padres. They do have several lefties are starting, despite how we projected it. O'Hearn's now in there. Gavin Cheats is also in that lineup for San Diego, taking on the left-hander Kyle Freeland. I know you like Pivetta a fair bit, taking on the Rockies. So I imagine you're not going to pump the Rockies up too high, but where do you want to place the Padres and Colorado?
Padres are going in Batman. Ramon Laureano and Manny Machado are probably my 2 favorite bats from the Padres. I hit on Ryan O'Hearn. He's starting. We'll throw him in there. Jake Cronenworth's fine. Is Jake Cronenworth in the starting lineup there?
He is. He's in the 8-hole.
Yeah. Tatis, obviously. I don't care about the 4 home runs since June 24th or whatever. The Rockies, we'll throw the Rockies in the founder just because they're in cores. I do like Pivetta. Just want to say that at the top. But Moniak and Brenton Doyle are fine. I don't really love the majority of the Rockies. But we just kind of have to put them up there because they're in cores. So,
yeah, I'd put them there too, although I'm probably not – my main lineup's probably not going to be loaded up with Padres. I might have like a couple, but I don't think I'm doing it in my main lineup. All right. We forgot about Chat's talking about Moneyball. What was the other one? Yeah, he's also in The Big Lebowski. Really small part, but he's very good in The Big Lebowski as well. Okay. The Athletics. The Athletics are taking on the Angels.
TJ said MI3. He was in MI3, yeah.
He was the villain. Yeah, he was very good in that. Yeah. Mason Barnett versus Jose Soriano. No Angels lineup just yet. Still, the 3 hours and change, so it's not anything alarming. But it's 3 hours and change. I know Trout's not been good this year, but the price is really, really down on him. $4K on DK. I think he's $3K on FanDuel. Adele is really cheap also, as far as his power upside. 4-1 on DK. I think he's 2-9 on FanDuel. Even Neto. I like the 1 through 5 for me, assuming it's like as is. Or whichever catcher rolls out there, but, you can get some Ohapi. If it's Darno, so be it. The Angels are one of my favorite teams. I'm not totally buying that Barnett is MLB ready, but we'll see. And if the Angels aren't striking out, they're bopping it. They're hitting the ball over the fence. Athletics taking on Jose Soriano. We talked about his ground ball stuff, which makes it kind of tricky to stack against them. Where do you want to put these two teams?
Yeah, I think we could put the Angels. So I'm a little bit. I want to put the Angels in Batman, but I also want. They would be higher end the other guys for me. They'd be the first team in the other guys, I would imagine. No, not the first team. They would be in the other guys. Just put them in the other guys. But Neto, Trout, Adele, I think they're very good. Going up against Barnett, like the Angels a good bit. Really wanted to put them in Batman, but just going to settle for the other guys. And I think Moncada, I think, is fine as well.
Yeah.
And we were also projecting the Athletics.
We have the Athletics lineup. It just came out. So, yeah, Kurtz, Langeliers, Rooker. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put
Kurtz, Langeliers.
I'll put the Athletics in the founder. Obviously, Nick Kurtz is great. Langeliers is great. Rooker is great. But they're getting Soriano. And for me, that's just going to knock them down. Soderstrom's also a very good hitter. I just put them in the founder because I'm more bullish on Soriano tonight.
I mentioned Sanchez, a .53 homer per 9. And that's the second best in baseball amongst those that qualify. Soriano not far behind at .61, in part because he doesn't give up fly balls. Some, just not a lot. His ground ball rate is elite. Okay, last game in just a second. Do you want to tell the people how we got today's Film Friday? Bobby, I don't know if you have the answer just yet, but we got several people that guessed it. Let's go ahead and tell the people how we got there. And there's a reason why I picked this movie. This film, if you will, because football, some would say it's right around the corner. Actually, it's here. I guess it's here. It's fully here. We've had the appetizer.
It's definitely here. I have to build my team for tonight, so let's speed it up, Dino.
All right. Well, I mean, no matter what, you have to wait for crunch time.
I'm joking.
You're going to be on the show, by the way. If people are just joining us now, you're going to be on the Showdown show at 7:15. Yourself and Chop, 8 o'clock, I believe, is the lock. With Kansas City and the Chargers. Clue 1 was guard. Guard is a synonym. Basically, it's a reference to sentinel. This movie is about a football team, a collection of players. They're called the Washington Sentinels, which, by the way, I did a little research in this. I'll explain in a second.
These clues led to the replacements.
Yeah. Survive. If you've seen the movie Replacements, I just threw my Zins
across the room. There's no way that these clues end up with the replacement.
I'll tell you. Wait, what do you mean? Well, the most obvious one is Scab.
It could be it could be that movie, The Irishman or whatever.
Well, I mean, for the longest time. So I didn't know this, but this is loosely based off the 1987 NFL strike. Which there was a quarterback controversy on Keanu Reeves and the hotshot guy that was there, and then he comes back and he crosses the picket line. It's a whole thing. I don't want to give the story away, but you probably should have seen the replacements by now. But that is what happened with Washington, with Doug Williams and Jay Schrader. So it's kind of loosely based off the 87 NFL strike. Survive. There's a whole scene with the Glory Gators. I Will Survive. It's a whole dance number when they're in jail. You remember this? It's a whole thing.
I remember it. Yeah. I saw it in theaters, Dean, with my dad.
Yeah. Okay. Orlando is in reference to one of the co-stars, Orlando Jones. Orlando Jones is in this movie. Scab, again, is a reference to, they are, you cross the picket line, that's your call. You're labeled, a scab. And clue number 5, Hack, is in reference to one of the stars of the movie, the great Gene Hackman. So it is the replacements. And again, they were called the Washington Sentinels. So that was the I forgot the Sentinels. But all right, last game. Crunch time coming in here soon. We got Kirkwood. We have Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, as well as TJ Zwarych. It is your Boston Red Sox. Peyton Tolley, his second start against Erod, former Red Sox. You said he's vengeful. Slight dog here at home versus Boston. No Roman Anthony for the foreseeable future. Probably out for the rest of the season. At least
not for the season. I'll text him and find out.
Oh, is he in the phone? You got Roman Anthony? There you go.
No,
shout out to you.
Yeah, I'll have it soon.
All right. Boston, Arizona. Where do we throw them on the board?
We're gonna throw the Red Sox in the founder. Story, Bregman. Fine with those guys. Been red hot. Maybe we get Rev Snyder. Did we get a lineup for them yet?
Yeah, it's Duran leading off, left on left. Bregman, Story, Gonzalez. Rev Snyder's in there.
I like Rev Snyder. I like Cedeno Rafaela. We'll put them in the third because I do like Erod Revenge. I know you're not going to boost the revenge tonight, but I don't hate the revenge tonight.
What is the boost? Like an 8% boost? What do you boost for revenge?
That's just secret, Dean.
That's the secret sauce you can't talk about?
I can't talk about it, yeah. And for the Diamondbacks, we'll throw the D-backs in Beetlejuice. Just Tole's was great his first start out. Give him the benefit of the doubt. It is a tough lineup. They don't strike out, so I don't love Tole from a pitching perspective. But Kettle,
it was fun to watch.
Blaze,
did you watch him by chance?
Tyler Locklear. He has a great mustache, Dean Tole.
He's got a great look altogether. He's like 6'5". He's a big boy. He's got great hair, like the stash. He's got a lot going on. He seems to be easy to root for. As far as the rest of the lineup, I kind of mentioned that half the players. Ref Snyder is batting fifth, and there's Nate Lowe, Eaton, Rafaela, and Navarez is doing the catching for Boston. We kind of sort of somewhat built stairs. We're building stairs to some degree. Let's go ahead and give the rundown. If you're joining us late, power ranked Michael Keaton movies, a lot to pick from. The one hole is Batman. There's just two teams up there with Michael Keaton and the Joker. It's the Phillies and San Diego. The other guys, that's the Yankees, Toronto, the Dodgers, the Angels, The Founder, the movie about the founder of McDonald's, at Seattle, Houston, Colorado, the Athletics, and Boston. The most popular tier number 4, Beetlejuice. That is Baltimore, Atlanta, Tampa, Kansas City, Texas, San Fran, St. Louis, Arizona. And then bottom tier 5, Beetlejuice. It is the Marlins, Cleveland, and the Twins. We promised the people some Bobby bombs. I know Crunch Time's coming here in just a second, but what do we got for the people? Feel free to be as ambitious as you want to be. Who is going yak tonight?
I was going to pick Trent Grisham, but I see him hit a home run every night, and maybe tonight he takes a night off. And I'm just going to go Ben Rice, one spot below him in the order.
Okay.
He would be 1. 2, Kyle Schwarber, but that's probably the easiest one on the whole slate.
Sure.
3, going through it. What are we doing? Someone mentioned Ramon Laureano in chat. I'm going to go Ramon Laureano. I really like him tonight as well. So.
He might be my favorite Padre.
He might be my favorite play on the slate, Ramon Laureano. Actually, he's 5,300. Okay. Never mind.
You got to pay for him. Life comes at you fast.
Pay for him. Life comes at you fast.
For Baltimore.
I didn't realize that was his price, but yeah, I should have known that.
He's another guy, right? Is he going to get paid? Like, he's another guy that might get paid and, kind of broke out of nowhere. Both him and Grisham.
I'm surprised Baltimore just let him go because he's like one of the only guys hitting on that team. Yeah,
well, Baltimore seems to make some weird decisions, but the decision we're going to make on this show, you can't question it. We're going to talk to Crunch Time. It's TJ. It's Kirkwood. It's Dave Potts. Crunch Time right now. It's a bold choice of the gong, but I don't disapprove. What up, TJ? TJ, by the way, a little behind the scenes, is like dinging my ear incessantly because you're in a chat right now, and you are causing my ears to just blow up because, you're having this conversation. I keep getting these notifications on the screen, so thank you for that. And
you guys are in the chat.
You're gonna be chat.
You're probably going to be answering it and doing that to me as soon as the show starts, so I don't feel bad.
Revenge. I'm like Erod. I'm vengeful.
Yeah.
I was just inspired to ask, who remembers the Gong Show?
I'm aware of the concept. I think they tried to reboot it. It just didn't work. I think
it was so
not that long ago.
Me and some of my friends we loved that show back in the day. Just because the whole concept is if you don't know what I'm talking about, think of like almost like America's Got Talent, except when they don't like it, they just hit a big gong and then you're out. Like just a glorious concept for a show. I think we should bring that back for sure.
And you had like a minute, right? Wasn't it like you didn't have a long time?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but it was not much.
All right.
I just remember that we loved it, and I don't know why other than that they just hit a gong.
I need to know now who was the reboot host. It looks like, if I'm seeing this correctly, now I got to pull this up. Is that Martin Short? Maybe that's wrong. I'm not sure. But Chuck Barris. Chuck Barris, I guess. What is it? No, that's who created it. Never mind. I'm getting derailed. My apologies.
It's probably not important.
No, but I'm easily distracted. The Gong Show. I must learn everything about it within the next 2 minutes. Otherwise, life cannot go on. Bobby, you gotta go prepare for the Showdown slate. Showdown slate coming on in 55 minutes. You're talking about the Chargers and the Chiefs. Yourself and Chop will be on. Basically, when this stream runs out, 5 fire it back up again. A new one's going
What
to
time does that start? 7:15, TJ?
Yeah, that's when we're live at 7:15.
Great. See you then.
All right. Anything else, boys, before we step aside and get out here and make way for crunch time?
Nope.
All right. 9:30 in the morning. 9:30, myself, Bobby Gomes, Tasteful Tides, Tim. We start the NFL content, the NFL shows, 3.5 hours all the way up to kickoff. But for now, it's DFS, TJ. We care about tonight and tonight only. Tonight, we're talking baseball right now. Showdown later. It's yours, TJ. Take it away.
Talking some baseball for RotoGrinders MLB Crunch Time, and I'm your host, TJ Zwarych, joined by two of the sharpest minds in the biz. And thankfully, it's still baseball season because that means we get to see our guy Cheese all the time. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good. Yeah, you get a few more weeks of me, and then I'm gone for a good long while, and I think you'll be fine.
Only place we'll be seeing you is up top in an NHL DFS contest, but we'll be missing your face because only seeing your DFS name, it's still exciting to see at the top of the standings, but it doesn't quite have the same feeling. Joining us as well, someone you'll still see a lot throughout the football season. We got Kirkdiese. How you doing, my friend?
Good. Yeah, you'll see, Dave. You'll see Cheese winning some hockey and hockey season, some LOL and esports. I know it's a big one for him. So if you ever, just check the leaderboards. And
you can always find me in the esports streets.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I love that. I'm doing well. Actually, I had to break the news to the other half that my podcast, that football podcast we always would do on Fridays, is on Saturday at noon. And she's like, so you have ruined the weekend for the entire football season. I'm like, well, because we usually have family day Sunday, and now it's football Sunday. And so we used to do Saturday, but now I have that on Saturday. So I'm just like, we can have football, family football Sunday.
Isn't the show like an hour?
Yeah, but
that seems like her problem. Really,
I'm a perfectionist, so I end up. It's going to take me, a long time to do the research ahead of time, and then the other thing is that I have to have time for UFC too. So I can't give up UFC. That's
true story.
On that note, you can check out the Tournament Take show every Saturday at noon Eastern. Kirkdiese, Beer, and Noto got a great crew for that, and I'll be popping in this week because Beer is busy, so I'll be popping in for week one.
He's in Vegas.
There you go. Yeah. That's exciting. Kirkdiese, let's start off with you. Give me your overview of what we're looking at on today's slate.
Man, I'm in the weeds, so I'm like, I'll give you UFC plays, NFL, I can, whatever you guys want, just ask. But for baseball, this is a pretty good slate. We've got enough games. We got enough pitching everywhere. You can play the high end guys if you want. You can play the kind of low end ones you want. I don't know how sneaky Ian Seymour is going to be, but he feels like it should be, sneaky, but really solid play. I know Dave's going to like that play as well. But there's a lot of ways to go at pitching. And, the Padres are kind of been anemic lately. They've been shooting up the gutless rankings back to where they belong. They were one of the reasons that we started the gutless rankings was because of the Padres. Tatis has been just horrific. If you look at his metrics against left-handed pitching this season, you would never guess in a million years it was Tatis unless you're following along. And then so you don't have to play the Padres, and it's a bunch of lefty-lefty matchups. So I don't think they're even going to be that popular because they're priced so high. And so it could be a good opportunity to play the Padres, I'm thinking. But, there's a lot of ways to go.
Cheese, how about you? Give me your overview and then lead us right into some pitchers.
Yeah, I think what Kirk is saying about the Padres, they're kind of like the Astros, like a really good real-life team that's just – they're not really built for DFS, especially against lefties. So when they're priced up like this, it's a little weird. I mean, they should score runs for sure. They're in cores against the Rockies, but they were built to win in real life, not to win in DFS. So I'm not thrilled. The pitching side, Yeah, I was also hoping Ian Seymour would be sneaky. I don't think he is. I think he and Soriano on DraftKings are going to be chalky-ish. Like everyone's going to see those top like 4 pitchers, Sale, Sanchez, Pivetta, Gilbert. We lost a couple of top pitchers, but there's still 4 of them. And say, I want to play those guys. When you start building lineups, you lose a lot if you try, especially if you try to play 2 of them. If you get in even just one of Seymour and Soriano, or if you like some other cheap guy, then you can just get that extra bat that looks really good, whether you like Machado or Ohtani or Judge or Schwarber. Like I think those 2 cheap guys on DraftKings specifically are going to be more like owned as much as we're showing Sale, Sanchez, Pivetta. Out of the top guys on both sites, Christopher Sanchez is my preference. Chris Sale second, Logan Gilbert third, Nick Pivetta fourth. You can mix and match them any way you choose, and I think it's fine. They're all good, but I like Sanchez the best. And then I really am just playing a lot of Seymour and a lot of Soriano on DK. And then on FanDuel, where Seymour's only 7,400, like he's not going to get a quality start. It would be stunning if he goes more than 5 innings, but at 7,400 with how he's looked at facing Cleveland, I'm very good with that. That ended up being my entire pool. Just a little bit of Sanchez and Sale up top, and then a bunch of Seymour and Soriano. There's more good pitchers. You could play Merrill Kelly or Peyton Toll or even Gausman or Gavin Williams. You could go cheap with McGreevy or even Colton Gordon. Like I wouldn't tell you you're crazy for playing any of that. I just feel good enough about that top group that's just what I'm doing. Essentially Sanchez, Sale, Seymour, Soriano.
If you're playing one lineup on FanDuel, whether that be a cash or single entry, would you be going Sanchez or Seymour?
Seymour.
Kirkdiese, how about you? What you doing at pitcher today?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I just don't see a need. There's like a handful of guys I like, and I don't see really a need to go outside of any of it else. So I liked Glasnow coming in before he got scratched. I thought was hope, but because he's now scratched, Sanchez is my first favorite. And then from there, I like Chris Sale. I like Seymour, who's I'm basically playing, and I'm making him. He's in every build I make is Seymour. And then Soriano, I don't mind Pivetta, and then Logan Gilbert would be the last. And I don't really see a need to go anyone else. And the other ones would be like Merrill Kelly or Gausman or anything. So that would be the pool I'm starting with. But
let me pause you for a second, Kirk. Sorry, before we forget and mix this up, there is a pitcher named Carson Seymour today.
Yep,
that is not who we're talking about. Like someone's going to mix that up and play Carson Seymour. We're talking about Ian Seymour for Tampa.
Good point. There's also there's a Seymour batter too tonight as well. There's 3 Seymour. Suddenly Seymour.
There you go. So carry on.
Yeah, so that's a great point because they probably would play Carson Seymour. But it's Ian Seymour. He is going to be the long reliever. He's pitched I think he threw 82 pitches in his last start. He is for the Rays. He's a kid with electric strikeout stuff. He's got an insane changeup, and that really helps him. And he's a left-handed pitcher, and that really should help him against right-handed batters. So this is a good spot for him. It's the ballpark is there's power risk there for sure, and the Indians are just the Guardians are just so bad. How can I still? It's 2025 and I'm still doing.
It's going to be a while still. You're good.
It's because you're a terrible person.
Yeah, I know. Who are the Redskins playing too? Anyways, that wasn't good. Where was I? So I was talking about Seymour and just how bad and how high strikeout the Indians are against left-handed pitching. Did I do that on purpose or did I slip?
I don't think that was on purpose. I thought that was rhetorical initially, but I do not think that was on purpose. So let's talk stacks. Cheese, I'll throw it to you first. Who are you stacking up today?
I'm still under on the Padres. I have a little bit. I actually kind of like that they put O'Hearn, Sheets, and Merrill in there. Like just kind of plan for the bullpen, like because it is a pretty good matchup once they get to the bullpen. I mean, it's a good matchup to start with, but I actually played a little more because of having those lefties in than I started with. But they're not my favorite team. The Phillies are my favorite team here. The Angels are second. And then it's kind of a mix and match. I've got some Dodgers. I've got some Tampa. I've got some Red Sox. Maybe a Cardinals somewhere.
All right, Kirkdiese, how about you?
Yeah, I like the Padres first just because of how bad this Colorado bullpen is and team, and Freeland's been terrible. I know it's the lefty-lefty matchups, but I think they're going to hit some bombs today. I actually like them, like Dave was saying, I like them better with the lefties that they put in there because it's just you didn't want to pay for a Raz. It's such, it's just you don't want to pay for someone like that high in cores. You want some guys who are going to hit it out of the park, and at least you get that opportunity with Gavin Sheets and with what's his name, Ryan O'Hearn. So they're the first. My second favorite is the Angels. Really solid spot for them. Third is the Dodgers. I think being in Camden, it's Creamer's hit or miss. He's not terrible, but certainly the bullpen has some problems, and I feel like this game's going to go off. So I think the Dodgers is a good spot for the Dodgers tonight. And then I like the Phillies. And then I tagged Boston as the next, but I just kind of forced it. I didn't really like anybody in fifth, to be honest. So it was like I was really focused on those top four teams.
All right, let's start going position by position here. We still do have lots of times to get your questions in. Get them into the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. Get them into the YouTube chat. We'll be going to the Discord chat first. Go to the YouTube chat second. And YouTube, as long as you're hitting the like button, we got some home run picks for you as well. So keep on hitting the like button. And you got home run picks. You got some questions. You got free content on a Friday. What more could you ask for? I'm telling you what, and if you're looking to get into NFL DFS access this season, why not get more bang for your buck with this Combo Pro deal? For a limited time, you can get your first month of Combo Pro for just $79.99. That's only $5 more than an NFL DFS monthly subscription. Don't pass up this elite value. It's the perfect time. Baseball's still going on. UFC, college, PGA still in full swing. You can catch the beginning of NHL and NBA, like perfect time to get yourself some Combo Pro, especially at a discount. Let's start going position by position here. Starting off at the catcher position. Kirkdiese, we'll start with you. Who do you like at catcher?
Who I like is JT Realmuto in Miami. You get a nice. Is it revenge at this point? Probably not, but against his own old former team there. He's my top one. Logan O'Hoppe would be the next. Did he make the lineup?
No, it's Darno.
Yeah. Okay, so Darno, I would be fine with Darno either. How much is Darno priced? 2.8K.
He's cheaper, 500.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's fine. I would have rather preferred O'Hoppe, but Darno is fine. Other than that, you can Dalton Rushing. He's cheap, dirt cheap in against Kramer in Baltimore, and I don't think there's going to be any much pitch hit risk for him tonight. So I like that, especially with them on the road to get the 9 full at bats. 2,400 is fine, good. You got my boy again, who just sticks out like a sore thumb when I see the name Jimmy Crooks. So you could play him just because he's dirt cheap, 2,100. And Elijah Diaz back in cores, batting 9th for the Padres.
All right, Cheese, what about you? Who are you playing a catcher?
Pretty similar group. Like the good catchers all have bad matchups tonight. So this is not a position I'm really spending up much. Real Muto is also my favorite. And then from there, I'd really rather just go cheap. Darno's probably my favorite cheap guy. Crooks and Fiducia are essentially free, and they're fine as well.
All right, take us to first base.
This is where I really like the Dodgers. Freeman is 3,400 on FanDuel, and little priced up on DK, but I still like playing him at first and Ohtani in the outfield. Like we mentioned, I think it's good that they put Ryan O'Hearn in there. He probably won't be all that popular. One, because he wasn't projected in for a long time. Plus, it's lefty-lefty, so I like him. If you have salary and are not playing the Dodgers, then it's Bryce Harper. You can certainly play Nick Kurtz, but I'm playing Harper and Ohtani ahead of him. Devers is another guy that will just be forgotten. McGreevy is probably pretty good against righties, but he's not really against lefties. And then if you want to go cheap, there will probably be two Seymours in the winning lineup. One of them, Bob. So I like him, and Tyler Locklear is fine, but I would rather play Seymour.
All right, Kirkdiese, how about you? First base.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're getting first tonight.
Shohei Ohtani. Really nothing to say about him. Ryan O'Hearn. I like what Dave was just saying. He got added late, lefty, kind of pricey here with all the other Padres. I just don't, the optimizer's not spitting them out. So in turn, there will be less ownership on them, I think. Freddie Freeman, really solid play at 5K. Bryce Harper. So there's a lot of big ones, like big bats here. If you want to go someone different, just for home run upside who's cheap, Jake Berger would fit the profile batting cleanup again today. And then Devers is just on fire, so I could see him having another big game. And Fettuccine Friday wouldn't be today if I didn't mention Vinny Pasquantino.
All right, take it to second base.
All right, second base. Romy Gonzalez has great numbers against this is a fun matchup actually against Erod, former Red Sox, who's totally hit or miss and more miss. But I wouldn't be surprised either way. This guy, I have no idea how it's going to go. If the Red Sox bats are going to get to him, or I think Rodriguez could have a good start here and strike out a bunch of these guys. But Romy's a solid bat, batting cleanup. This is the position where you're going to save money. At least most people are doing. So you can get the other bats. It would be guys like Jordan Lawler, who's batting 7th for the Diamondbacks, who's min price 2K. Michael Massey. He'll homer someday for us at 2,100, and we will be here for it when it happens. Ketel Marte would be the pay-up guy. It's interested totally against. There's this guy who studies arm angles, and he's like Chris O'Leary that I've talked about on the show before on Twitter, and he's never misses. He calls all these guys get Tommy John or get injured or they don't make it this season. And he has the Twitter backstory on each of them. He is so far again. He thinks totally has the worst arm angles, and there's no way he will make it to the end of this season. The first sign will be velocity dropping. And so it's just interesting to me how much he's like that. So it makes me think that he's going to give up some home runs at some point in time. But, he had a really solid first start, but now it really starts for him. So I'm not really high on him, even though he is on my Red Sox. Other than that, guy in Cronenworth, I don't like that he's down batting 8th, but he should get minuscule ownership tonight in cores. And he's one of the cheaper bats at 4,400. So like that.
All right.
Did you hear an echo?
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
TJ does not hear an echo.
That must be me.
It must be you.
I'll mute.
You. Peyton Tolley, he's definitely going to break his arm, and he looks like he's like 45 years old. I think it's the mustache, but like
the mustache
does not look like a child, Like
he looks like a DFS player is what he looks like.
Yeah, he really does. Like, yeah, like you would hang out with him at the bar.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Hopefully he makes it through tonight. Yeah, second base is fine. I'm with you on Romy Gonzalez. I really like him a lot. I think Brandon Lau is an interesting spend up to be a little different. Same with Jazz. Like, I'm not prioritizing these guys or Ketel Marte, but it is interesting just because no one's going to spend up here. Really, I don't know that anyone's going to play anyone here. I mean, apparently you have to play a second baseman. There's not a single player projected over 10%. So by definition, if you spend up to be different, you're being different, but you're being a bit different by spending down too. I really just have Romy as the only guy that I kind of want to play. Jordan Lawler would be the cheap guy I would go to first. And then it's just kind of wait and see if I have salary sitting around. Bryson Stott I feel like he should be a little cheaper because Romy's right there, but I like Stott okay.
All right, take us to third.
Third's pretty fantastic tonight. You got the obvious Manny Machado. I do not think you have to be stacking the Padres to play him. I mean, you can, but he's great on his own. I think Caminero and Bregman are my next two favorites. I'm not playing Jose Ramirez. You can, but I'm sticking with Machado, Bregman, Caminero, or on FanDuel Devers. And then with the cheaper stuff, I like Moncada. I kind of like Nolan Gorman. I think I meant to mention him at second base on FanDuel as well. Jordan Lawler is also here on DK. I much prefer him at second, but he's here if you need him. And everything else is just kind of random stacking left over for me.
All right, Kirkdiese, what do you like at third?
Yeah, I don't really like anybody besides Machado or Moncada if I need the salary for 3,600. I've looked at a little bit of Bregman and Addison Barger, but yeah, really it's just Machado.
All right, take it to shortstop.
All right, Zach Neto. For some reason, he's down. His salary dropped down to 4,300. He is my favorite play. Probably going to be pretty popular. The guy that I don't think that people are going to play much of is Trey Turner because he's all the way up at 6K. Mookie homered against Paul Skeens. So he's back. All right. He's officially back, and he has crushed Orioles his entire career. And so I'm tempted to play some Mookie. Trevor Story, still a good play with the platoon against Erod, Bobby Witt, obviously, Bo Bichette. I don't like Iglesias for 3,700 on the Padres, but I wouldn't fault you for putting it in a stack. And Tovar batting sixth at 4,100 against Pivetta. I don't love it, but could certainly, hit a home run, and that's all you're really looking for.
All right, take it to shortstop.
Yeah, I'm thrilled for Mookie Betts. I do not like him. It actually like
Dave at shortstop. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, like in all seriousness, it kind of makes sense that Skeens would be he would homer off. Like he needs to. I'm assuming it was a fastball. I don't actually know. Maybe it was something else, but like he kind of needs the pitcher to supply the velocity as he wasn't against Skeens. Who was it against?
It was probably the bullpen.
Kirk.
Come on.
I would expect.
Who's going to call me out on these?
To homer against a guy who throws 98, not against a guy who throws like 90. And the fact that he got his homer means it should be another few weeks. He should get one more this season, maybe two. He's not bad. I mean, he has 15 homers and he doesn't strike out. But all that to say, I'm not playing Mookie Betts tonight. Story and Neto are the two that I'm playing. I totally agree with that, like Trey Turner being very interesting as a spend up to be different. Same with Bobby Witt. Like Pablo Lopez has been out for a super long time. Like I don't know if we should just assume that he's going to be good. And the Twins bullpen is horrific. They make the Rockies jealous at this point. So yeah, both Witt and Turner, kind of interesting spend up to be different. But mostly for me, it's Neto and Story.
All right, take us to the outfield.
There's a lot of good outfielders.
Angels. Done.
The question is Fernando Tatis one of them? I know Dean wrote about it in the expert survey. Like, I don't know. Fernando Tatis and Mike Trout are two players that are just, in theory, they're good, but you can't prove it by watching them play baseball. So to me, I would play Laureano over Tatis and Adele and Ward over Trout. I think on DraftKings, Jordan Alvarez is the steal of the slate. Like, he is a $6,000 hitter, and they just haven't priced him up yet. So he's definitely my favorite there. He's my favorite on FanDuel too, even though he's a little more expensive. Ohtani, Judge is going to be under the radar, which is kind of silly. Like, it's another guy I would play over any of the Padres. And Schwarber, I thought would kind of be popular, but I don't think he is either. So basically, if I can get Schwarber, Ohtani, Trout, Alvarez, like any combination of those guys, instead of Padres, that's what I'm doing. If I don't have the money, then I'm playing Joe Adele, Taylor Ward. I don't think that's so sneaky, but I don't particularly care at those prices. And that's who I'm playing. I like the outfield so much. I really don't want to mess around with the cheap nonsense. You might have to in a stack here or there, but I don't. Maybe Michael Conforto, he could throw in there if you have to. But I really just want to spend up to like at least the Joe Adele range.
Kirkdiese, how about you? Who do you like in the outfield?
Yeah, it's either Padres, Angels, or Dodgers bats, and for the outfield for me. And then I'll make a cat, and also the Phillies. So basically, the four stacks that I like, or all the plays I like in the outfield, with one exception. I mean, I like Jordan also. 4,400 is just too cheap. He's been hitting the ball well when they actually pitch to him and don't just walk him. So he looks really solid and healthy, and he's 4,400. So yeah, you just play him. But like, you can just those four teams in Jordan, you can just mix and match and have like really solid looking lineups.
All right, let's get some home run picks. Kirkdiese, I'll throw it to you first. Who is hitting one out of the park tonight?
I'm gonna say Jordan. He's gonna take Merrill Kelly deep because Merrill Kelly's gonna pitch to him, and he's gonna make that mistake. And then other than that, I am going to say, for a cheapie, kind of, is Michael Conforto. Is going to – I'm trying to manifest him because I'm playing him in some lineups. So, but I think he can do it.
I'm going with Ketel Marte, knocking one out of the park tonight, and then Mike Trout is the other guy I have. Plus 340 on FanDuel. None of the Angels have great odds, but I thought plus 340 for Trout on FanDuel was pretty good. Cheese, how about you? Who do you think is hitting the home run tonight?
I just looked. This has nothing to do with that. The question you just asked me, but that's fine. I just looked. Betts homered off of something called Daori Moreta.
Stop that! Come on. I made a good case for him. Come on.
I wasn't gonna look at. I was just. I mean, hadn't paid attention.
He wasn't on the main slate. It was like he was on. It was like one of those six.
So I was gonna just agree with that. Off skiing sounds good, but Daori Moreta, I don't know. Probably not the guy that is gonna pitch tonight since he's on a different team. So home runs tonight. Let's not do any expensive guys. Let's do like some mid-tier to cheap. Nolan Gorman, Joe Adele. And, well, obviously Bob Seymour.
Big Bob.
All right, let's start taking some questions. I'll go to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord. I'll go to the YouTube chat. And then because we do have a football show starting up here immediately after, we may get out of here a touch early, assuming we run out of questions. But if you guys have questions that continue, like Kirkdiese said, about baseball, about football, about UFC, as long as you guys got questions, we will be here. So going to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord first, and there are no questions.
The only question, air quotes question, is just a simple I agree with Kirkdiese. I don't even need to know the context. That's a fair comment to make.
He makes some good points, so I nothing wrong with that whatsoever. The next question I saw was need an outfielder under 3.4K, and so we got to know what site. What site are you playing on? We can't give you an outfielder under 3.4K unless you have a site. I guess so.
I think he was talking
that many
DK.
questions. We could pick both sites.
He was talking DK, and I think he said that when I said Michael Conforto is what I was. That's how I took it when I said he would bomb, go for a home run.
Oh, got you. And so that makes sense. Good call with that one. FanDuel GPP favorite single entry pitcher, Cheese.
FanDuel, you said?
Yeah.
I like Seymour. I mean, if you just have the money, it's Christopher Sanchez, but I have more Seymour.
Kirkdiese, who is your favorite pairing for a DK single entry?
Seymour Sanchez or Seymour Soriano.
Yeah,
and if you want to get frisky, take it. If you want to, oh, did you say that was DK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to get a little crazy, I think there's merit to taking Erod. Total, you could absolutely blow your lineup up, but I'm against my Sox tonight.
Yeah, Seymour and Soriano are my two favorite pitchers tonight. That's my favorite pairing. It's all the questions, but it's a little too early. And so I guess, Cheese, while we wait for a couple more to come in, and if no more do, we'll have to bounce. But Cheese, give me a recap, if you don't mind, on a pitcher on both sides tonight.
Sure. We all like Ian Seymour. And just to clarify again, this is Ian Seymour of Tampa, not Carson Seymour of the Giants.
Not the guy on the screen?
Not the guy on the screen, although we like him too.
Not the guy even starting for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah. And if you're playing on FanDuel, you're going to notice that Seymour has the big NS not starting tag because he's not starting. He's following an opener. So don't worry about that. And then on DK, Soriano is the cheap guy that I like. Of the top guys, if you have salary, you should spend up. I mean, is what I'm talking about. These cheap guys, like, it's not like they're better than Chris Sale and Christopher Sanchez and Logan Gilbert and Nick Pivetta. It's just a salary thing. Out of those top guys, Sanchez and Sale are my favorites.
All right. Kirkdiese, what's your favorite beer on tap?
No, don't. Next question. Not a big beer guy. I'm not a big beer guy.
Yeah, me neither. What's your favorite color, Cheese?
That would be orange.
More of a green guy myself. Kirkdiese, Seymour and Pivetta or Sanchez and Soriano, DraftKings single entry?
Sanchez, Soriano.
Alex says, can you provide analysis for the slate with the lens of a large field DK GPP? That's kind of what we've been talking about the whole time. But Cheese, say you were playing one line. It's with a ticket. So say you were playing one lineup, but it's not a small field single entry. It is a large field contest on DraftKings. Which team would you be stacking?
Yeah, so kind of like you said, that's mostly what we're talking about the whole time, is for large field GPP. But really, so tonight is a slate where I actually wouldn't necessarily full stack a team if you can get all like a good players out of a 3-3-2 or something like that. Like I would lean more towards the individual players we've been talking about. if you are just going to stack no matter what, I would do the Angels.
That's how I feel very similarly. I ended up with a 4-man Angel stack in my main lineup. Didn't quite get to 5 because went with Alvarez over Trout today. DK Cash, last piece, Ref Snyder or Brenton Doyle, Kirkdiese?
Not a big fan of either of them tonight. I would probably, I would say go with Doyle.
Geez, people are asking about the other Seymour, Carson Seymour. They want to play both Seymours together. Can you see more of that working out?
So be sure to note, Carson Seymour has not thrown more than 3 innings all year. Maybe he gets to 4 tonight, but he's not even good with the low pitch count. So I personally can't consider him. You can do whatever you want. He's cheap, but I think he's unplayable for me.
Yeah, I don't think I could, even in 150, I wouldn't be getting to Carson Seymour at all. DK outfielder, Kirkdiese, 5,200 or below.
I don't know. I pulled UFC up because I saw Chad doing.
George Springer is your answer there, my friend. I got you. It's George.
No, it's
Springer.
Jackson Merrill. It's Jackson Merrill.
No, don't go with Merrill in the GPP. Go with George Springer, the guy who's 3rd in the AL in OPS this year, facing a reverse splitsy pitcher. Come on.
Springer has been quietly fantastic. Like, it seems like nobody ever.
Holy cow! I didn't realize his last 2 games. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he's been the third. Like, it's been Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, and then George Springer has the top bats in the AL this year, which feels weird. But they've kind of like Vladdy has hit like Springer, and Springer has hit like Vladdy this year.
Springer dinger. All right, take mine back. Change it to Springer.
Now hit us with that UFC lock, Mr. Kirkdiese.
Well, now I got to pull that back up. So if you want to bet or DFS, but a bet, just a two fighter parlay would be a chick named Sam Hughes. There's no way she should lose. And then William Gomez, both boring fighters, but really good, solid to win their fights. So that's a really big parlay I have. And then for DFS, Gustafsson is going to knock out this fraud, Renat Fakranov.
Kirk, let me ask you this. I'm actually curious because I don't follow this at all. Like,
yeah,
how big do odds get in a fight if it's just like this obvious? Like, where do numbers get to?
Like minus 1,500. So
I
my
think
worst
Bo Nickel one time was minus 2,200.
My worst loss like that was in a DFS thing. So I would have won like $100,000 if Amanda Nunes just won her fight against Juliana Pena a few years ago. This is way back.
I've only heard of one female fighter of all time, and that's her. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she was minus like 950.
You've heard of Ronda Rousey.
And
okay, true story.
Yeah, and she lost. It was terrible. It's terrible. I still won money, but it was terrible. It was just. But yeah, there's that they can get up to like Steve, like first of all, Bo Nickel should never be that high against anybody. He's a total fraud. But yeah, they get up to like they're usually on most. It's like 600 to 800 is the peak, but it can get up there depending on how bad a mismatch. Sometimes they just take some can right off the street, and throw them up against some big prospect to make them look good.
All right, that'll do it for our questions. Like I said, we have a football show starting in 15 minutes, so stay tuned. You got Head Chopper and Bobby Gones taking you up to lock with tonight's NFL slate. We got Chargers and Chiefs. I almost got my games mixed up for a second, but we're ready to go. One more question before we get out of here. FanDuel, Machado as a one-off with the Angels and Philadelphia stack. What do you think, Cheese?
I like that. Yeah, I do not at all mind playing Machado on his own, and those are my 2 favorite stacks. So we'll probably tie.
All right, that'll do it. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everyone. On behalf of myself, Cheese, Kirkdiese, and the wonderful Steve working hard behind the scenes, we will see you next time.